Good morning, everyone. My name is Theresa Conroy-Roth, and you are watching the latest episode of Lightning Leadership. With me today is someone I think you should know. Her name is Therese Miclot, and I am just absolutely astounded by her. We recently connected. Our conversations have flowed beautifully. Not only is she from Northeastern Ohio and living in Indiana, something in common, but all around great person, and I get energized by her. So, Therese, welcome so much to the program.
Oh, thank you. I already know this is going to be a great conversation.
We've had a few of them, which is
We have.
we have. So you are an executive coach. You're a leadership development consultant. Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. So my main passion and focus is on helping organizations accelerate leaders. I work with a lot of companies that are growing really rapidly, and they're thinking about how do we get people ready sooner for key positions so that we can keep developing internal talent and have leaders ready as we need them. So I started my career at Rockwell Automation, led global learning and development, and really fell in love with this idea of how do we help technical professionals go from what I call super doers and experts in their field to true leaders.
So you've talked about sometimes being exceptional at work makes you invisible.
It does.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
And I think it sounds counterintuitive, but I think there's some truth to it. That the fact of the matter is being exceptional at the wrong things will keep you stuck. And what I mean by that is that when I work with a lot of technical organizations, the reward systems, the processes are designed around your precision, your subject matter expertise, your speed. And so we get hooked on the idea that our value is solving problems, hitting deadlines, and stepping in when others are dropping the ball. And that's often how we get branded in the company as the go-to person when things go bad, or leave it to Theresa, she'll be able to figure it out. So what happens is we become the person people depend on and not necessarily elevate. And I think that's the super doer trap.
So as we talk about super doers and doing things for everyone kind of all the time, how do you use that in such a way to elevate yourself and not necessarily get trapped as the one person in the department that can do it all?
Sure.
Do anything without.
Yeah, I think probably our listeners, or your listeners, are really very skillful, and they've read the books, they've gone through the training, all those things. And in a way, the work is, how do I redefine my value into the company? Because you'll be it's reinforced. Your identity is, throw the problems your way. You're the one that's going to deliver quality. And so I think the challenge for most of us is redefining our value and our identity as one that can operate more strategically and not caught up in just pure execution.
So is it a matter of influence then? Is it a matter of positioning? Tell us, and any tricks or tips for the leader that's doing everything?
Yeah. So here would be my one tip. If you take nothing else from this, it's to start interrupting your natural reflex, your reflex to say yes every time an email comes in and needs your attention, or a fire drill comes in at you. The number one thing you can do is start to hold back on that and just ask yourself, is this really mine to solve? Because the number one thing you can do to start shaping how people see you differently is delegation. And it's hard when most people I speak to are like, I can do it faster, I can do it better, I can, do it without needing to teach other people. But that's the trap, is that if you can get good at delegation as a means to develop other people and scale your capacity, then that's the unlock.
We're coming up into the holidays, and I'm thinking both home and work. So many people are coming up with this particular challenge.
Yeah, it's true, right? I think this is the right time of year in the last, months of, weeks of the year is to really set a clear intention for yourself about how 2026 will be different than 2025. And I know most organizations are going through annual performance reviews, and part of that is development plans. And I would think that this is the perfect time to be really assessing, how am I showing up? Am I being seen as someone that can execute? Or am I seeing someone that can elevate and start to create other people capable of doing what I'm doing? So it frees me up to think, to plan, to look farther on the horizon than just what's in front of me, what the fire drill of the day is.
Yeah. Do you have, I mean, I think that's a great point, especially as we're, in the fourth quarter of a year, looking at not only what we accomplished this year, what went well, what might not have went so well, but it's a great time to talk about 2026, right? And and it's not really just a New Year's Day, right? That changes things, but what do I want to change about myself in the future? Right? What mantra, what guidelines do I want to kind of set up for myself personally? Like, last year, I went into this year thinking, believe in yourself and the power of new beginnings, right? I had a
love that.
That kind of flowed through everything that I did, and it did, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking for, some sort of a mantra for next year. Has that changed you at all? Have you, do you, how have you done that? Or how have you coached people on those things in the past?
Yeah. I think that you have to, when you set an intention, it has to be in front of you just about every day, because you can set something that humans are notoriously bad at setting New Year's resolutions, and then they just dissipate within like 6 weeks.
They do.
And so I think that for me, and maybe for you, I have to have something visual as a reminder that becomes my filter for action. So for instance, I'm coaching a leader who is in this space of wanting to be seen as ready for more C-suite roles, but is kind of pigeonholed. And it was just a sticky note. And the sticky note was, is this mine to do or for someone else to learn? And he put it on his monitor, and he bounces off of that constantly to stop a behavior that isn't serving him anymore. And I think it can be as simple as that. I don't think it has to be, some big, beautiful, I don't know, vision board. I think you can take a sticky note.
Yeah.
What is your intention? Put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day.
So as you talk about people that are in overperformance mode, right? And I think sometimes even as women, we get into that cycle, right?
Yeah.
If I could only do this, if I could only do this, if I could do this. How do you see yourself or reflect on yourself? How do you pull yourself out of that? Other than delegation?
Well, I think everything comes back to mindset. Those stories we tell ourselves either supports us in moving in the direction we want or gets in our way. And I think
that's great. That's great.
Before even any skill like delegation, or maybe being able to be more candid in a meeting or say no, it is, does your mindset support you? Because that's going to drive your behaviors, because your thoughts drive your emotions, which drive your behaviors. So that's the real work to do. So if you continue to reinforce in yourself, my value is in being the doer, saying yes to everything, then it's going to naturally show up in your behavior. But if you can treat your self-talk like a skill and shift it to, my value isn't in the doing, it's in the directing. You're going to naturally start to shift your feelings, because you won't feel like overburdened and anxious and stressed out, to curious about, what is my behavior that's reinforcing and becoming this self-fulfilling prophecy that is the cycle I need to break.
That's awesome. Therese, thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure.
I'm so excited to know you, to spend time together.
Completely.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Well, cheers to 2026.
Oh my goodness. Here's to 2026 as my fuzzy water just suddenly bubbles, but it's all good. Thank you again. For those of you that are interested in reaching out to Therese and learning more about her, check her out on LinkedIn, follow her on LinkedIn. Therese, thank you so much. I am so excited for what the next year is going to bring for both of us.
For sure.
And I really appreciate you.
Likewise.
All right. Thanks everyone. Catch Lightning Leadership on YouTube and Spotify, and of course, LinkedIn. Have a great rest of the day, and peace. See you later.